So a movement away from religiosity is passed on through the cohorts, through generations. That's essentially the idea. Now, going into a slightly different discussion, do you know who these two people are? The one on the left is Adolf Hitler, a fascist, a Nazi leader of Germany in the 30s and 40s. And then the other is Joseph Stalin, a communist leader of the USSR in roughly the same time period. Now, why are they relevant? Well, if you look at the essay which I have linked to by Dominika Motak, she says that after the fiasco of the 20th century lay ideologies, so non-religious ideologies, disgraced by the totalitarian systems, modernity gave up on constructing all-encompassing worldviews that could act as sense-building for individuals. So this is very much taking Durkheim's idea of things. So with the decline of religion in Europe and the fact that people need some sort of ideology to bind them together as a society, there rose communism and fascism within Europe. However, after the Second World War, particularly with regard to fascism, not with regard to communism, people discovered that these lay ideologies, so ideologies that were not at all focused on the next life, but on organizing nationally within this life, these lay ideologies were terrible things. They led to the genocide inflicted onto the Jews during the Second World War, etc., etc. So there's this idea of looking to fill the void left by the decrease in religion with ideology instead. Again, quite a simplistic view, but serves our purposes. You can contradict this with statistics, for example. So there was, until recently, a very high level of religiosity in Germany. But again, dig into this in your own time. I thoroughly recommend you to have a look at this debate. Now, what does Peterson say in his book, The Decline of Established Christianity in the Western World, available online? He says that fascism was a radical rejection of Enlightenment trends in human liberation and autonomy. So again, he's saying that fascism was filling the void left by the decrease in religion and noticed in Enlightenment ideals. Enlightenment was the time period after the Renaissance. And he says that with the destruction of fascism in World War II, the Western world became far more liberal and progressive. After the war, the open society of modern liberalism became the ideal among many intellectuals. So why is this relevant? Well, this is relevant in the context of religion being a series of structures, a structure of a series of rules, rather. So fascism, a lot like religion, said that people ought to behave in a certain way, and it was centered on the state and bringing people together. And so you saw in the Nazi German context the idea that women should be childbearing, staying in the kitchen, men should be gruff and fighting wars and survival of the fittest and all of that carry on.